This is why no one wants to read. No one cares about any sort of mainstream media outlets, legacy media, whatever you want to call it these days. This is why, because they're so desperate that they should be praising Donald Trump. He should be their number one person. They should send him flowers on a daily basis for like, thank you for giving us content. Sometimes I think he does stuff deliberately just to keep them, probably because he's got he probably owns shares in these companies and realizes that if he doesn't give them content, they're really going to go under because no one's going to read their stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? It really does seem like that. This isn't news. This isn't newsworthy. This is just a nonsense. This is the kind of thing that someone like me should be commentating on. I do some funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or like, political satirists, or just people on Twitter who want to have a jolly for the day, but not news outlets. Because look, this is under the news tab. This is the news tab. This should be under the funny things that happened today tab or something. This is why you're dying. This is why you're all gonna be jobless. This is why no one likes you. When you sort of sat there going, oh, why does no one like me? Why is everyone mean to me? It's like, because you do this all the time, bro. You annoy people. Like you're mean spirited, whatever. This is why you're dying. Why do you not understand that? God help you if Donald Trump passed away. Like, what would you do? What would you talk about? What are they talking about here? This is the tweet. For all the money we're spending, NASA should not be talking about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. They should be focused on the much bigger things we are doing, including Mars, of which moon is a part, defense and science. So obviously they think that Donald Trump means that the moon is part of Mars. No one, I don't believe that, and I think majority of people know that that's probably not what he meant. I refuse. No, like this guy. I don't know what he means. This guy tweets so much. Who knows what he means half the time? I don't think he even knows. He just tweets it out and goes, part of. It's probably, I don't know. Sometimes he writes stuff. I'm guilty of like saying stuff all the time when I think people definitely know what I'm talking about because I've already said stuff in my head and I just come out and go, yeah, this isn't like what you want about. I go, oh yeah. I thought you understood everything I understand. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't even matter. Maybe he's clarified it since. I don't care, right? I don't care. What's going on in the world? What's actually going on? Do you want to know what's actually going on? Look. How about this? This is a nice little exercise. Okay, we can just look at the top stories going on in countries. Let's just have a look at the top stories that are going on in countries that America have invaded over the last 20 years and the mess that has been left there. How about that? Let's look at what's going on. What do you know about what's going on in Afghanistan? Remember, we used to hear about Afghanistan every day. Every day, you used to hear about Afghanistan. Every day something was going on, wasn't it? There was always something going on in Afghanistan. Always. Afghanistan was big news. There was a bombing today and someone was executed. 400 people were dead. 200 people dead. Child has limbs removed and is addicted to opium because of drone strikes. All really outrageous stuff. Do you know how many people died in Afghanistan last year? Right, it was about 40, I think it's something like 40,000. And since the conflict started, that's like one of the highest, I think, I'll look it up. 40,000 people died in Afghanistan last year, which is more than any other year, basically, like, since the war started. Yeah? Okay. I think it's something like maybe 150,000, something like that, over the course of the war starting in 2001. And 40,000 died last year. Did you even know about that? Or what did you know about? I don't know. God knows. Someone sending a tweet that upset someone. H&M and their monkey outfits, or whatever the fuck it was. That's what you know about, really. That's what's outrageous, is it these days? I remember when it used to be things that were properly outrageous were outrageous, but not no more. No, we live in a clown world. That's why it's the greatest meme of all time. Afghan peace marchers detained by Taliban supporters say. So yeah, you've got some people marching for peace, and the Taliban detain them because they don't want peace. Afghan President Ghani says he will visit Pakistan. That's not very good. 5 killed in a bus bombing in Kabul. This is all this, within the last week. Taliban head rejects call for holiday truce. US envoy heads to the region. Car bomb rocks Afghan capital. Afghanistan postpones 2 local elections. Afghanistan launches probe into sexual favours accusations. So look, that's the president. That's the president of Afghanistan right there. Gunman kills 7 family members in Afghanistan. Kabul minibus bombings wounds 10. 2 Afghan teenagers sentenced for killing 6-year-old girl. Afghan police arrest dozens for celebratory gunfire following cricket victory. I mean, that's more interesting than anything to do with tweeting about the moon. Flooding kills at least 24. As if they didn't have it bad enough, a flood comes along and kills a bunch of them. So just in case you're wondering, that's what's going on in Afghanistan. See, in this video, I've already informed you, just by reading headlines that aren't clickbait, nonsense. I've already informed you way more than any of these other news outlets have. Except this news outlet, obviously, that I'm quoting from. But you're not going to read this news outlet, are you? No, of course you're not. You're not going to click on the bit that says what's going on in Afghanistan. So there, you can thank me later for what I've just done for you. Oh, and here's another country that was invaded by America and Britain, okay? And that's proper messed up. Don't know if you've heard of Iraq. That's been messed up for about 15 years. Yeah, what's going on in Iraq? I hear you never cry. Yeah, well, let's have a look, shall we? What's going on in Iraq? Okay, let's have a look. So, Iran-US tensions. Iraq Sunnis want more say in talks. I see they have the ethnic groups marching in. What else do we have? What we got here? Iraq's president calls on neighbors, allies for Iran stability. Okay, Iraq. Series of deadly explosions hit Kirkuk. At least 6 improvised explosive devices go off, killing several people and wounding more than a dozen, the military says. 6 devices, 6 devices. What have you heard about lately about people getting killed? I don't know. Some people were attacked on a bus the other day. Civil society weighs in as Iraq vows to execute French citizens. Activists, lawyers call out French government for failing to protect suspected ISIL members sentenced to death in Iraq. So French citizens who went out to fight for ISIS are now going to be sentenced to death, just in case you're wondering what was going on there. Turkey launches operation against PKK fighters in northern Iraq. Okay. Yeah, PKK. Kurds. Allies of ours, by the way, just in case you were wondering what that's all about, okay? Turkey, Turkey's super chill. Turkey, lovely place. I can't read that name, but he's elected president of Iraq's Kurdish region. That's interesting. Iraq sentences 2 more French ISIL members to death. Gulf War disappeared. 3 decades of Kuwaiti despair. How US-Iran tensions could benefit ISIS in Iraq. Okay, well, that's got something to do with Donald Trump. How US-Iran tensions could benefit ISIS in Iraq. Right, it is an opinion piece, possibly. I'm sure they've done some fact-checking. I mean, okay, that's something to do with Donald Trump. But no, he tweeted about the moon. That's what you want to know about, so that's fine, isn't it? 4 French ISIS members sentenced to death. Well, a lot of these Frenchies are getting murdered, aren't they? Could Iraq be pulled into conflict between the US and Iran? Iran will defend itself against any aggression. 3 more French ISIS members. Iran's Zarif visits Baghdad to discuss US tensions. Look, you have Iraq and Iran, who once, enemies for so long are now coming together. 2 very big nations, yeah. And Iraq definitely. I think the general consensus amongst the people is that they probably don't like the Westerners that came and attacked Iraq, and they're going to be they're forming relationships with Iran. Once more enemies. You see, ever read the 48 Laws of Power? Make an enemy a friend. Yeah, do you know about this? I mean, don't you think that's very interesting and could be worrying, seeing as you, and I'm talking to you because I'm not talking in Arabic, so that means you, where you live, this could actually affect you. Do you know that? Do you know that? Or just want to talk about the moon? If you want to talk about the moon, US ally and Iran's neighbour, Iraq, is caught in the middle. Well, I think they're going to start choosing sides. So this is all going on. All of this is going on. This is Iraq. Remember Iraq? We used to hear about Iraq every day. Something bad happened in Iraq every day. Iraq rocket attack hits Baghdad's green zone. Well, that's not good. Exxon staff evacuation unacceptable, Iraqi minister. Germany, Netherlands suspend Iraq training missions. US orders non-emergency government employees to leave Iraq. Okay, well that's some serious shit. Iraq under US pressure over Shia militia's role. ISIS attacks, kills at least 4 civilians in Baghdad, Sadr city. That's what's been going on the last month in Iraq. And that's just being picked and choose. Who knows what else is going on? That's what's going on in Iraq. And here's another place that America fucked over in the last few years. Shall we have a look? Yeah, there's a little place you might have heard of. It's called Libya, which is even talking about even less the mess that was left behind in Libya, because they decided that they made friends with Gaddafi and then didn't want to be his friend anymore and totally fucked him over thanks to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Libya is a mess. Another mess in the Middle East, the North Africa bit. Wonderful, isn't it? Let's have a look at the mess that is Libya. Huh? You want to know about the mess? Would you want to hear about that Donald Trump might think that the moon is part of Mars? Or would you rather hear about the fucking mess that's going on right now that you should be outraged and concerned about? Where's your protests? Where's your tweets? Not even a tweet. Not even a tweet. You know the hashtag we want our girls back? I thought that was pretty lame because I didn't think that was going to do much. But it was more than what you're doing right now, isn't it? Isn't it? So let's have a look. What's going on in Libya? Some fucked up shit, I expect. Confusion over US policy on Libya fueling conflict. Bipartisan legislators say Libyan armed groups are using confusion over US policy to justify fighting in Tripoli. That's something. Look. So look at this. No safe places. Aid group urges evacuation of migrants in Libya. Tripoli violence. People look for escape routes. Libya flight data places mysterious planes in Haftar territory. Al Jazeera Arabic investigation tracks suspicious cargo flights into military bases controlled by Khalifa Haftar. That's some serious shit. Libya's Haftar vows to fight until Tripoli militias defeated. More than 75,000 people have been driven from their homes and 510 killed in the weeks-long battle for Tripoli. 510 people killed in 1 week. Just so you know. Libya fighting clashes near Tripoli's old airport. Libya's Coast Guard rescues 290 migrants off Tripoli's coast. They're probably more concerned about that. UN envoy, Libya's a textbook example of foreign intervention. Yeah, so Ghassan Salam says between 6 and 10 countries are permanently interfering in Libya's problems. That's not good. Libya fighting. Thousands of students unable to go to school. Haftar rules out Libya truce in meeting with Macron. Do you even know who Haftar is? UN envoy warns of long and bloody war in Libya. Water supply restored to besieged Libyan capital. Well, some good news for the Libyans. Libya armed group cuts off water supply to Tripoli. Okay, so that's what followed on from there. Haftar's assault on Tripoli. What's at stake for Libya? A comprehensive overview of who is fighting in Libya and what is at stake. You probably don't even know. I don't even know. Do you want to know? I don't care what you want to know, actually. You're going to find out right now. That's right. I'm going to inform you. Here we go. So what's at stake for Libya? I mean, look. Forces loyal to renegade military commander Khalifa Haftar launched a surprise attack on the Libyan capital, Tripoli, in an attempt to remove the UN-recognized government of national accord. Claiming that he is fighting terrorism and trying to stabilize Libya, Haftar, who is backed by the Tobruk-based House of Representatives, has sought to defeat the militias that support the GNA, which is headed by the Prime Minister Fayez al-Sarraj. Since the toppling of long-time ruler Muammar Gaddafi, in a NATO-backed uprising in 2011, a series of governments have failed to demobilize and reintegrate a number of armed groups that had risen to prominence during the revolution, or the disaster is what they should call it. Haftar's attack has failed to achieve any of its objectives thus far, with the eastern-based forces struggling to break through GNA's front lines along capital's southern outskirts. I mean, look at Libya's oil wealth, fighting over oil. Look at all this. The battle for Tripoli. So look, so you've got UN-recognised government of national accord. You've got Haftar's self-proclaimed Libyan National Army. You've got other rebel groups and airstrikes and clashes. So what's this? The battle for Tripoli. Right. So look, so it's gone like Syria has. Yeah, it's just all occupied by. You don't know about any of this. Look at the rival factions, forces fighting alongside the GNA troops, pro-Haftar entities. The human cost, 454 killed, 62,000 displaced. I mean, that's just a brief summary. I would go read the whole thing. Go read it yourself. You know? You don't even know this is going on. And this is like what we should be hearing about. You know, for so long we were bored of hearing about what's going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then it just went away. But it hasn't gone away. It's still there. You shouldn't be bored and desensitized to it because it's going on. Right? You know, you want to cry and say, "Oh, no, let all the migrants in." Yeah. All right. Would you give a shit about why they're coming? Anybody who wants them here or doesn't want them here? Here, as in there, because they're not here. I'm somewhere else. But you know. Is that even important to you? No, it's not. Virtue signaling and talking nonsense is more important, apparently. You know, why don't you share one of these articles every day? Because something happens every day. Why don't you share it every day and put a hashtag? Do you even give a fuck? How about that? You know, you'd rather talk nonsense. You know, shameful, isn't it? Oh, shame on you.